What's up YouTube, Jeff back again today, another very exciting Samsung video for you guys, and today I want to talk some more about One UI 7.0. The beta update makes a lot of changes, but one area I wanted to focus on that I've been particularly impressed with is the home and app screen. I think these are two of the best quality of life improvements that Samsung has made with the overall UI design in One UI 7.0. So today I'm going to talk about the large folders, the redesigned widgets and the ability to resize and reposition them, the improved landscape mode on the home screen, and then also the vertical app drawer and how I've been feeling about that. We were all excited to get it back. Talk a little bit about that as well. There are also a couple of things that Samsung has removed and a couple of things they've added that are kind of hidden that I found that I posted over on X. We'll talk about that today. Before we get started, if you guys haven't yet, make sure you check out our website, sammyguru.com, covering the latest Samsung news, tips, tricks, tutorials, and reviews. We've been rounding up all this One UI 7.0 stuff over there as well. Full writing team over there helping me out, so you guys can check it every day. We have tons of new stories. If you're going to buy a Galaxy S25, go ahead and tap the orange banner at the top. You can get a free mystery box from us with accessories, get a free case, cleaning kit, desktop phone stand, other randomly inserted goodies. It is US only. Just put in your phone number, your email, or both. We cover the cost of shipping as well as all the products inside the box. We use our affiliate revenue to cover that, which is why all you have to do is use our affiliate link in order to get in on that. That'll be in the pinned comment description if you are interested. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the home screen updates. So you guys know there's a ton of new widgets in here. If we go into the settings really quick, we can talk about what's really new here. There really isn't anything new here until you get to the app screen. We know that we've got the vertical app drawer, which I'll talk more about in a bit. You've got 4 or 5 columns, and 4 here is the default. I went with 5. Folder grid hasn't changed at all. You do have a new app and widget style, which allows you to increase the app size, and you can also turn on or off app labels and widget labels. Now, the sizes here, I talked about this a little bit in the first video. There aren't really a massive difference between them. That's small. Here's medium. And then let's take a look at large. There's large. So, I mean, there's not a massive difference. I kind of prefer medium myself. I think it just looks better, but there's not a massive difference between them. That's probably the biggest change to this settings menu. Otherwise, all of these other settings down here are pretty much the same as what you would see before. You can hide your apps on the home screen, the lock screen. Add new apps to the home screen. That should always be turned off by default, but I believe it's still on by default. Swipe down for notification panel. Always want to turn that on, I think. And rotate landscape mode. That was off when I installed 7.0, so you might want to turn that on if you want to enjoy the new landscape mode. But other than that, there's a lot of other things they've redesigned, including the widgets. And these are the stock Samsung widgets for Smart Suggestions. And this is the gallery widget for an album. You can now reposition these and resize them, and it actually kind of shows you how they change. And if it can't resize to a specific size, it'll tell you that. So in the past, the widgets definitely didn't kind of animate and reposition in this way. So you get this one, you can get a pill shape. This one, you can get this like weird oblong shape. It expands into a longer pill and then to the 4x2. So you can see all the different sizes and it animates beautifully, very smoothly as you go through the widgets. I was really impressed with that. Widget placement and resizing used to be a nightmare in previous versions of One UI. Now it's actually very nice. And it's not just for the stock Samsung widgets, although those do work the best. You're also able to run widgets like my KWGT widget you guys have seen many times before on the channel. They've also changed the way the app grid works, so it's more fluid to move between things. It's clearer and easier to see where things actually will get placed. And it's also got a more symmetrical placement. So if you have a bunch of apps on the home screen, you're going to have a more symmetrical look to them. So if you actually, let's throw a few more on my home screen here. But you see here, because you've got an odd number on the home screen, it used to be that the symmetry was slightly off, and now it's kind of right down the center. If you look at the camera cutout here on the S24 Ultra, the middle of this Asana icon goes right through the center of the camera cutout itself. If you look at that on, let me just slide in my other S24 Ultra. It's kind of hard to see here because the beeper icon's at the bottom, but let me put it at the top. If you look at it here, it's not quite perfectly centered right down the middle. It was slightly off-centered. There's a little bit of a lack of symmetry. I know it's hard to see with the dark wallpaper, but that's what they're talking about when they talk about the improvement to the symmetry. I know that's a small thing to the UI, but it is something that's important to people who care about UI design. The next thing is the large folders. These large folders are absolutely awesome. Basically, whenever you create a folder, you can shrink it, and that's the regular size. That would be a standard folder. You have to tap on this, open your icons, and then you can go ahead and tap on any of them. But if you long press, you can hit enlarge. This will make the folder large enough to fit 9 icons on the front of it. And any of the icons that are on the front, you can just tap the icon and go directly into the application without opening the folder first. This is amazing. I've been using this a ton. I found this to be one of the most helpful features. Now, if you put more than, I should have said, I said 9, it's actually 8 that can fit on the front without having to expand the folder. If you add a 9th one, let's say I add YouTube to the folder, well, now it's going to show me these 3 dots in the bottom right corner. That means I need to open the folder in order to access that other icon, that other app icon. But the ability to open apps quickly without having to go into the folder first is certainly awesome and improves my productivity. Now, if you go into the color picker here in the folder and tap on the color wheel, you'll notice there's another new feature here that I highlighted on X. There's an eyedropper tool down here, which you can use to take any color you want from your icons, your wallpaper, whatever, and they'll give you the hex code, the RGB values and all that, and you can utilize those. That works on Spectrum or swatches, doesn't really matter. And in fact, there's another place where you can utilize this as well. If you go into display and then scroll down to edge panels, you'll notice here with the handle, you can edit this to the color wheel as well. And you'll see the eyedropper tool also lives here as well. So you can utilize the eyedropper tool to highlight some colors. Now, I did notice that for this one in particular, you'll see that like you have to, like you can't leave the screen, like the eyedropper tool won't let you, you can't really go home and pick a color. So you're gonna have to pick a color that's on here, which that isn't really that helpful because you can't really pull your wallpaper colors out of here. They have to improve obviously the utility of that, but I haven't really figured out a way. Once you go home, you can't use the eyedropper color tool anymore. So you'd have to like, I don't know, pick a color from here, which isn't really that useful. They also removed another feature from the edge panels. Basically at the bottom, you used to have the option to have the edge panel vibrate or not when you expand it. Now it's on, so if you do this, it always vibrates when you expand it, and there's no way to turn that off. So you cannot turn off the vibration on the edge panel. That's an unfortunate thing that they did change and remove. Now, the other new feature that's really, really big for the home screen is the changed landscape layout. So if you guys look at this, and I'll get my other S24 Ultra here just to compare, here's the 6.1.1 landscape layout. You see how it's got all the like values for the titles and everything are on the side of the apps. The aspect ratio of the widgets is awful. Nothing looks beautiful about this. And you see the status bar is still here on the landscape. The status bar disappears in landscape in One UI 7.0. And so it looks a lot more beautiful. The aspect ratio of the widgets is perfect. The labels are now below the icons, and just everything looks great here. These main icons being on the far right. They really improved this greatly. And this is another one of the biggest changes that I've been impressed with on the home screen. Lastly, the other thing I wanted to mention here is that if you go into the vertical app drawer, I talked about this a little bit, there was this secured by Knox overlay here at the bottom. Actually looks kind of classy, but Samsung's confirmed on the members forum they're going to remove this in the final version. The Finder has been redesigned as well. And if you go into the Finder settings, you'll notice there's some new options here as well. In fact, we can compare these to what is in One UI 6.1.1. So show suggested apps is there on both. Search suggestions, show settings, searches, and suggestions, show settings topics, show app options and searches, show search history, show hidden apps, and then down here we've got a couple other ones in One UI 7, show text in documents, and show web search suggestions, which I think are both very, very helpful and something that people will utilize. Because obviously text in documents, that means if you have any document on your phone, it's now going to be able to search that using Finder. So that's another improvement with the app drawer. The only thing I don't like about the app drawer, I love the vertical app drawer. I wish we would be able to get rid of this search bar at the bottom. And also, if you want a horizontal app drawer, you now have to sort by custom order. And that's kind of silly. And it doesn't always clean up the pages correctly. I talked about this before. I don't want a horizontal app drawer, but if you do, now it's really difficult to get one and keep the alphabetical order, which I think is a shame. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is my tour of the home screen changes that I've been impressed with, and the app drawer as well. Some pretty nice stuff here. Large folders, redesigned widget kind of animations, resizing, the symmetry of the app grid, as I said, but it's still kind of cool. And of course, the landscape orientation is fantastic. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out sammyguru.com for more great One UI 7 coverage. Sign up for the mystery box if you're interested, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.